Many of you may not know what this is just by the looks of it, and it is called a scrubbing bubbles uh, washing machine for your shower. Automatically makes the spray. Well, it works. The motor's kind of like, destroyed. It's a brushed motor. And they can be submerged in water because this was submerged in water for so many days, months, who knows, even a year. So, what I am going to do is clean it up and make sure everything is going to work nice. And maybe I can replace that motor. Shouldn't be too hard to do. Let's throw in some AA batteries. Make sure they go in the right way. And as soon as I put this in, it's going to maybe spray. Hopefully I got all the water out. There is the on button right here. And there is a little triggering mechanism. There you go. You hear it. So, a little bit more lubrication may do the trick. So I am going to remove the motor and get it to go working. The 3.6 volt, one cell. The motor's kicking. You can hear it. You can see the spark. And this is spray. Known as CNC spray. You can see right there. And this is some lube. Scrubbing bubbles. Remember them? I've done this a number of times and I want to make sure I do this right so it can help everybody out there. There are T10 screws and they're in different depths. I use what I got mine off. This is the circuitry board inside. There's the auto on button. There is the piezo buzzer. And these are the power and the motor cables. Every one is a little bit different. Well, this was working just fine. It given out while I was doing this. When I opened this up, a lot of water came out. I did a lot of preparing so I don't have to bore you with great detail. So when you open this up, be careful water don't spill out in the liquids. The hose from here to the very bottom over here is a path. And if that hose is a little loose, it's going to fill up with liquid. I take that hose off over here, and I take another hose off over here. So there are the two hoses. And the board is in here, and it slides right down. And it's all wired. No longer need this. So you can see how dirty this is. I cleaned it up. There's a kind of an on and off button in here. Basically, it's the suction button. It allows the fluid to go through here. A lot of hoses on this. The motor was submerged, and what I've done is I've taken QD Electronic Cleaner by CRC, and I doused it. I cleaned it up. And what we're going to be doing now, I want to take the motor back off. I want to take these 4 bolts off. Lift off. This goes on one particular way when you take that off, if it slides off. So don't worry if it fell off. You want to get that little hole back in there, and it goes on to the pump over here. So as you spin it, you can see the pump working. Now, what I do want to do is take this motor back off again. Before I do anything, I want to get myself some grease, and I grease around my gears and everything. I clean everything up. I do want to take care of this area first. I want to take a bag, and I want to, let's say, cut it about. I cut, and I go over here. Well, what am I doing? I am making myself a little waterproof area. As I take the tape and I continue to wrap, this will at least keep the water out. You can use yourself that Flex Seal spray. Here, all up to you. I taped up my motor. I don't think I have to worry about doing it all together. And you're only allowed to do so much of it. So let's put the screws back on. Don't want to over tighten these. Just tighten enough that it will hold. Put it back in the correct way. And just reverse order how you took this apart. Put it back together again. So give you all different angles so you can see what's happening here. So this moves. You can see the water coming up just about. And put everything back in. I already wired a switch, not hard to do. I don't want to cut my wiring. I want to keep it to a certain length. And I may want to put a knot on this after I slide this through. I chose to do it on the side over here so it's out of the way of anything over here. I scoped my work out. And if I put a knot on it, this way it won't pull out. So when I pull the wire back up, it stops. It's a good length. And I think all I need to do now is get myself some heat shrink. I divide it in half, find my scissor, and I place over every single area of wiring on one side. So that's what we're going to do right now. Everything is on. Make sure your batteries are always out. Put your batteries in. If you're uncertain of the voltage, make sure they don't touch one another. Grab your ohms meter. This is going to be your positive and this is going to be your negative. And you're going to read 6 volts. 6.3. If it read negative 6.3, then this would be the wrong way. You have to flip it around. So do I want to use my switch for the ground or the battery? That's all up to you. What I am going to do is twist my leads. Make a nice connection. Gonna grab some goop and put it on there. I'm not breathing that in. I'm going to heat up my line. Clean my solder. Then I'm going to take my heat shrink. I'm going to take my torch. I'm done. I'm going to repeat for all my other leads. But for these two, I do want to get one more heat shrink. I did put it on the wrong one here, so that's my apologies. I should have had it over here. So I get another heat shrink and I want to put it over here. Now, before I do anything, my switch is in the on position. So if I am going to put this way, am I going to hear anything? No. So I am in the off position. So I'm going to twist my leads. And we're going to do a test run. When I switch this is going to move. When I'm finished spraying, I let go. So I am pretty happy. Now in here, this one here just basically goes to the floor. So this is just a way that this fluid gets out of here. And that goes to this hose here. And that's where this may have filled up. And this one here basically feeds the fluid from the pump. So let me just get this in the proper area, the way I wanted to get it on, and work this on. Some people say there are O-rings in here. I haven't seen an O-ring yet. And there I am, done. Get my wires, make sure they don't get into the gears or the screws. Did I mention that you need to use T10 Torx screws to get this off? Security? And you can see me having just a little difficulty getting things back together again. So there I am. See if I have my Torx set. I just don't want to bore you with great detail, but here is scrubbing bubbles. Make sure you put it in the right way, right? Drill a hole on top. And I'm going to get out of here because I'm going to use my system. Maybe I want to move you with me, so hang on. Let's get you outside. Show you the box I made right over here. Look at that. I got to reverse my switch this way. So when I switch it, oh baby, look at that sucker go. I'm finished. A little work, a little detail on that box. So you can see how it looks wired. Depending on how and where you want to put it. That's a modification. Cost me nothing. I hope you enjoyed this video of modifying your scrubbing bubbles. Any comments, questions? Just ask. That was a fun project to do, and let me tell you, take your time no matter what you do. I may want to get myself a push button so I can sit there, and when I'm finished, I let go rather than use the switch. So I got one more to do, and when I get down there, I'm going to get it done. And this way, over time, it will last a lot longer. Don't got to worry about something falling apart. And that's it. Great mod indeed. Certain tools may or may not work out. And that was the problem I had. I had a T10 that didn't work because they were metric size for a different car. You don't need to have a torch or this. You can find your way to solder. And these are my RC stuff. They worked out just fine. Use some electrical tape, soldering, and some batteries. On that note, I thank you for joining me. Many more uses of that scrubbing bubbles. Have a great day.